Are you a little too tough with the state governments? Ms. Sitharaman, if you don't mind my asking you, because all of them point their fingers at you. All these chief ministers, they point their fingers at Prime Minister, of course, but they point their fingers at you, saying, Nirmala Sitharaman, Finance Ministry, allocation of funds, Niti Aayog, they have complaints everywhere that we are not being given what our... So what if we give freebies? It's our policy. Government should support us long term, etc. Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, all of them. So how much truth is there in that comment? That there's a little
Not
bit of...
one bit of truth.
Are you sure of that?
I'm sorry to sound so aggressive on
No, I like you aggressive. You're no longer aggressive. When you were spokesperson, you were very aggressive. Nowadays, you've become far less aggressive. But please,
Well, you
we
will
like
accuse me, Finance
the
Minister.
aggressive Nirmala Sitharaman on top of this.
Arnab will be the first fellow to say, what is this finance minister? She doesn't contain. She can't take criticism.
No, please.
She shouts. She gets aggressive. And look at Gautam Gambhir. He's been told, why is he always contented? He's a good cricketer. He's gone there to get to some order.
Amazing.
But even there we tell him, no, you can't be this, you can't be that. Like that I'll be told.
No,
you're not a spokesperson anymore. Why are you getting angry? Why are you giving answers like that? So I'm remaining quiet. But now you provoked me adequately.
And we want you to bat like Shrikant now, ma'am.
I'm honestly saying, and I repeat with my eyes wide open, looking into the very august audience.
Yes, ma'am.
There's not one element of truth in this, that the center is denying states their funds. Whichever state says it, I'll come and stand one-on-one to say this. It's not right. Because it may be a different story that they want more. They want more either because they're giving freebies or because they don't know to generate revenues, or they are not able to contain the loopholes, or they are not able to, look at newer ways of getting revenue. It may be anything. But to say that the center is denying them funds is absolute.
Yes.
I was going to say nonsense.
Yes, it's all right.
Maybe that's not right.
No, it's all right.
But baseless.
Yes.
See, the formulation of how much has to be given to a state for the next 5 years is decided by a finance commission, a constitution body.
Yes.
And if that body finally gives a report and that's accepted, and post that the formulation is on the central government, we do it accordingly. There's no way I can have, I like Madhya Pradesh more than Kerala, so cut down on Kerala, give Madhya Pradesh. Impossible. The system is completely fitted with mechanism that automatically every month the devolution happens. So that argument has been placed several thousand times, and there was one state which has taken us to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has also very clearly said you go amicably sort it out with the central government on the larger issue of whether the central government should oversee the borrowings of the state, which is Article 293 given in the Constitution, an authority to the central government, because sovereign guarantee is given by the central government for states' borrowings. And therefore, the central government is vested with authority to oversee borrowings of the states. And legitimate borrowing, let us say now 3% of their GSDP, cannot be denied and cannot be put under condition. I don't put conditions for you to borrow if it is within the 3% limit.
But Bengal, for example.
So whichever state, within your reasonable, permissible limit you borrow, nobody can say no. But beyond that, and aside from that, you create newer bodies which don't have the legitimacy to borrow, which don't account to the state assembly, whose revenues are not controlled by the assembly. If such bodies are made to borrow, and to them you give the right of your duties, meaning liquor policy, you have excise duties imposed on every bottle which is sold, and through that the revenue comes, and you have to come to the house, meaning assembly or the parliament, to say how much you earned. Now, suppose you transfer the right of the excise completely to this body which is not accountable in the assembly, and say the revenue earnings coming from the excise duty will go to this body, with that they'll pay the loan, and the borrowing is taken without any kind of restraint. CAG has pulled up states saying, what are you doing? This money which comes out of the excise duty should go to the assembly, it should go into the budget, should be accounted for, and the vote sought in the House. If that is for the next 5 years siphoned off to this body which is not accountable to the assembly, CAG pulls it up. And we say, no, that is not allowed. That kind of a borrowing is not allowed because we have the right to oversee these kind of borrowings also under Article 293. They then say, oh, the center is controlling me. Is this right in the first place? These kind of anomalies happened, highlighted by the CAG, questioned by the center, and then they make such noise to cover up these kind of wrongdoings. What is due to states, to any state, to every state, goes and goes in time. I will challenge in the 5 years that have been here, and so with Arun Jaitley's time. I will challenge if money has been delayed to any state. If you don't submit your certificate of utilization and then expect me to nevertheless give the money, obviously it won't happen. Submit your utilization in time, get your money in time. So there are so many.
So in Bengal, this utilization issue became a big issue in Bengal.
Yes.
Bengal has not given you utilization certificates.
That is the Manrega funds not going there.
But why should the people of Bengal suffer? Why should the people of Bengal suffer? Recently, Prime Minister got emotional in a scheme when he was announcing medical facility. And he said that I forgive the people of Bengal should forgive me because I am not able to serve them because my schemes are not being allowed by Mamata Banerjee. And the Bengal government says, we don't need your scheme.
That's right.
Our scheme on health insurance is better than yours.
So is Tamil Nadu.
Doesn't the person in Bengal just end up suffering because of it? What is the person's recourse then?
The citizen, whether in Bengal or in Tamil Nadu, have no fault of theirs.
Yes.
They are not at fault. But when state governments politicize such things,
Yes.
and they don't allow schemes of the central government to reach the state citizens, it's unfortunate that the citizens don't benefit. Tamil Nadu, I'm purposely bringing that on board, PM Vishwakarma Yojana. To benefit 18 such people, barbers, boat makers, fish net makers, masons, what is their caste? Who asked their caste?
Absolutely.
Whereas in Tamil Nadu, the politicians there, the government there, distorts it by saying Vishwakarma is a jati. You are giving it to the jati. What understanding of jati is this? And what understanding of the Vishwakarma scheme is this? When we have named 18 different activities, even if you look at the jati, are all these 18 in one jati? First of all, jati, the varnan itself is wrong. And there they've denied by giving a false argument saying PM Vishwakarma is a jati-based scheme. It's not. 18 different types of skills with which ordinary people are working. We are trying to give them skills, we are trying to give them kits, we are trying to give them some payments, and we are also extending subsidized loans so that they can build their occupation better. Tamil Nadu denies. Bengal denies on Manrega. You can see, and Ayushman Bharat is denied.
Yes.
It is purely out of this jealousy that all people, common people-friendly schemes of the central government are reaching the ground, and they don't want to recognize the good work which is being done by Prime Minister Modi's schemes.
Okay, I know you have a busy schedule. I'll take one question. You have a long journey as well, but one question which everyone wants to ask you, ma'am. You are making changes to the IT Act. On the tax issue, what can people expect broadly? I'm sure this question on tax is on everyone's mind. We are told there are changes being made, improvements being made on the IT Act. Some people talk of tax terrorism. I can see people smiling. Rasisha is smiling. Everybody's looking for that answer from you. What can broadly, whatever you can share at this stage, because you are doing some deep dive consultations, what can people expect on the tax front and the IT Act, ma'am?
I've said this in the budget. It is completely to simplify the IT Act. You know the IT Act as a book, if you want to refer, you're referring to a tome like this. And there are always clause, subclause, explanatory, facilitation, enabling clause, and so on. We want to make it downright simple so that there is no room for misinterpretation. We want the language to be simple. We also don't want too many conditions and caveats. So the rewriting in a way of the IT Act, which has been pending for some time now,
Yes.
we all talked about the direct taxation code and so on. So the work is going on to make sure it is completely brought down to the at most simple way of handling. One thing I want to make very clear, at the time when I proposed it in the last budget, it was to make the language simple so that it can be complied with straightforward, no questions asked. And even at that time, I didn't talk about rates being brought into this simplification. Because rate is something which I have to go to the budget and also through the budget to the parliament. Simplification is already gone through in the parliament saying, yes, you have to simplify. But rate will be a subject of a budget and never a subject of such discussions. So here, I'm not indicating that, yes, I'm changing, or I'm not indicating, no, I will not change any rate, tax rate for the income tax. But I just want to say, because you talked about this particular thing, it is for simplifying so that compliance is not a burden, so that officers at the local level, in the field level, don't subject taxpayers to wrong interpretation and harass them. Don't quote certain sections which are almost dormant to harass them. Remove that element of rent seeking completely so that it becomes simple.